Hello everyone, Simsy Claire here and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video we are in Newcrest. Now traditionally I haven't been building in Newcrest except for build challenges, but I decided to start a little mini series on my channel where every Friday I'm going to do a build that is base game and one pack only. So I've already technically done one for seasons, however I'm probably going to end up redoing that one just because the house I ended up building was huge. And it was technically 4 townhouses, so they all looked very similar, and they were based off of the season, so I was pretty much just using like the holiday decorations and stuff, so I wanted to try that again, basically. So towards the end of this, I will probably revisit the seasons idea, but this build is going to be base game and Parenthood only, which, yes, that is exactly why I chose to do a tiny home. I kind of copped out a little bit because we all know Parenthood is a game pack, not an expansion pack, so whereas it came with a whole lot of stuff, it didn't come with a whole lot of stuff that actually matches well with base game. So I was trying to make it easier on myself to be able to furnish a house, and I also came up with this really cute story, and I also built the Sims for it. So the video tomorrow will be the create a sim for the family that's going to be living in this house, but basically this is a single parent home, and I envisioned it being a dad, so that is what I created. So this is a single dad who had the child very young. I've pictured that they were still in high school and they were on track to be a pro athlete. They were going to have like a scholarship. They were going to go to college and do sports. I wasn't entirely sure what sport. I figured it was either soccer or baseball because I do put a couple baseball bats around the house. And then his girlfriend got pregnant and she left the kid with him, so he decided that he was going to give up his sports dreams and raise his little girl. So this is the house that he bought for them, and it is a small home. So initially this went under tiny home, but then I had to add a little bit because just the bedrooms just looked way too small, and they're still really tiny, but I think that almost adds to the effect. So this does end up being a small home. And I still think that I still think that it kind of fits in with a challenge because it's still under 100 still under 100 tiles, and then it's only like 5 tiles over the limit for the small home. So if you wanted to like just delete the deck, it would be under a tiny home. But anyway, I'm real quickly doing the landscaping. This lot that I chose to build it on is very tiny, so there isn't a whole lot of space to fill with plants, which I was really happy about because I think it just makes this house look better in terms of how I wanted it to look. And then as you saw, the structure came together rather quickly, and I do give them a monkey bars, because initially I was going to do a swing set, and then I remembered we don't have swing sets in base game or a Parenthood, so I did go with the monkey bars. But that also helps because the daughter, I end up giving her the motor skill, the motor kid aspiration, so she loves to be outside and play on like different jungle equipment and everything. So I thought that kind of fit, especially with her dad being a sports player. And then as you can see, the 2 bedrooms are off to the left, and then the bathroom is off to the right. And this house comes together rather quickly. This video is only like, I think 11 minutes long, maybe 12 minutes long. So I'm going to probably be talking really fast, but I think that this house turns out so cute. So I was really excited to do a Parenthood build because Parenthood comes with a lot of clutter items for children. So I go a little overboard in the kids' room, but I also spill some of that out into the living room. You'll see that in a minute. And I kind of my envision for this was they were definitely like super young in high school when they had this kid, probably like 17, and she's still a kid herself, so she's probably like 6. So the dad now is like 22, maybe 23, so I figured he was still a little childish himself. So his decoration style, he definitely allowed his daughter to have a little bit of free reign on how they did the house, how they decorated the house. And so I definitely put a whole lot of clutter and kid stuff, and I just think it turns out so cute and so cozy. But going over here, this is the side table by the back door, and I do add the Parenthood board here. Now the Parenthood board doesn't do chores. I've said this before, I wish it did, but it does do curfews, and I figured that maybe she had a curfew on school nights, but then on like weekends they stayed up and they watched movies together or something. I figured that they were a very close family. And then going in, the living room is right next door because it's an open floor plan, and I use the Parenthood couches, which I'm actually proud of myself. I don't think I've used them on a build on my channel yet because I've been so obsessed with the Seasons couches, but I used to use these couches all the time. So I was really happy that I held off until this video, and now that I've built them with them again though, I'm probably going to be using them a lot more because they are such nice couches. But going into this, so this is where I start to kind of spill out the stuff from the kids' room. So they have these 2 bare chairs and then a kids arts and craft box and then this kids like toy box sitting here in the living room. And if you can see, you'll see her bedroom in a minute, but the kids' room is super small. So I figured that the dad just kept buying her all the things that she wanted and everything that she could have ever dreamed of, just to make kind of make up for the fact that she didn't have a mom, you know, one of those super sad tales. So she had all this stuff that just couldn't fit in her bedroom, so it just kind of started to overflow into the family room. And then going out here, I'm cluttering up these shelves just a little bit. Now obviously I couldn't get them a gaming console because those came with City Living, and I'm a little frustrated that we still don't have a gaming console like added into base game, because if you're doing something like this where you're not using that one pack, then it's really hard. Like you don't get the gaming skill like almost at all. So I think that that's a little harsh. But I finished cluttering up those shelves. I added a cookie jar for good measure. I figured maybe his grandparents were involved, and so they came over quite a lot to watch her while he worked, because I figured he still did athletic stuff. I figured maybe he was a gym trainer, so I figured his grandparents were over a lot while he worked, and they baked cookies all the time. And then going into this kitchen, it's very tiny. You guys can see that they can cook in that left corner counter there. That's why I left it completely empty. And then I added a rug just to kind of cover the space up a little bit. And then going into the bathroom, I used these colorful curtains here at the bottom. They're pink, and then I was going to use this Parenthood shower combo, but I couldn't get it to fit where I thought that they'd still be able to use like the rest of the bathroom, so I did decide just to do a regular shower. But I do use the Parenthood sink, and then I also use this laundry bin decoration. Obviously it's not functional because we don't have laundry day in this build, so there is no actual laundry machine. And then I just had a couple of different clutter items. And then I move on into the kids' room. So the kids' room is probably my favorite room in the whole house. As I said, I figured her dad kind of spoiled her. So she has this Parenthood bed, and then over here is her dresser. And then my camera flipped out for a little bit there because I kind of pushed the dresser into the wall to give them a little bit more space in the room itself. So I wanted to make sure it wasn't sticking out on the outside of the build. But going over here, I give them a lunchbox, a cute little rug, a journal, and then a completed project on the table. And then you see right there I add a violin and then an unfinished project as well, because I figured that she was very much into like her schoolwork. And then I added one of these hobby boards up as well. This did come from Parenthood. And then I also used these skateboards. I almost never use them, but this design looked so cute and it went so well with this room because the accents are all pink, but then the walls are green and the boards were green and pink, so I thought it worked out really nicely. And then going in here, this is the dad's room. So this room is very simple. I figured he didn't really spend a lot on himself because he was mostly focused on taking care of his daughter. So his room's a little basic. He has a couple of different clutter items. I figured he had a pet fish. And I go through and I just clutter this dresser up a little bit. It's the Parenthood dresser as well, but the one that's a little bit more grown up, not so kiddish with all the different colors. And then he does have a double bed, although as you can see, one side is up against the wall, so that one side will not be usable unless he scoots over. And then above the wall here, I wanted it to be like he had all of his daughter's artwork. So I started with that picture, and then I go into this one, and I figured that maybe he had designed that board with her, and it has clips, so each time she does a new picture, he goes ahead and adds it to that board, and they just hang above his bed so that he always has like his daughter's artwork with him. I thought that that was kind of cute. And then I was going to do the same thing out here, like do more of her artwork, but then I decided just to do some pictures, just because I figured there was enough kid stuff out here to begin with. And then I forgot the trash bin, so I went ahead and added that next to the chair. And then I thought that this side of the wall looked a little bare, especially considering how cluttered up the rest of the house was, so I decided to add a lamp. And then moving on to the outside here, I add a little bit of a patio area with a grill and a picnic table, just so that there's at least one table in this build. But besides that, that is it for this house. So I hope you all enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to leave a like and to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all tomorrow with the create a sim for this house. Bye!